Hey, Shalom, dear friends. I was speaking with Rivka a few days ago about the fourth plague. You know, we are like in Shmot, in the book of Exodus, and we are looking at the parashot, the portion of the Bible, and studying them. And every year we find some new thing and we discover more. And so this year for me, I discovered that the fourth plague, which is called Arov, is some wild animals. And I was speaking with my husband and he said, wild animals? No, this is flies. And I'm like, what? And because I was reading, first of all, I have a very good translation. In my book here is the Chumash. And there is written the swarm of wild beasts. And then I was also reading the Midrash. It's a little Midrash for children, which is my level. And they were speaking about the wild animals, and you could see a picture of wild animals like chasing some Egyptian. And so he said, no, this is swarm. In my Bible, is swarm of flies. And sometimes it's written swarm of insects. So we look in many translations, and Christian and Jewish. So this is the best one, the Chumash, and I've told you is swarm of wild beast. But in some other Bible, like the Israel Bible, and I was looking on Bible Hub because I like also to look, there is so many translations, and most of them is swarm of insects. So this is very interesting. So we've done some more digging, and maybe we can just remember, you know, the first plague is the blood, dam in Hebrew. The second plague is the frogs, and they stay on the earth, by the way. At the end, when they all died, there was a stunk. You know, it was terrible because it was smelling, they were dead. And is tzfar daim in Hebrew. And then you have the third one, which is the kinim, is the lice. Now, the two first one, the sorcerers could kind of make the same. They could change the water. Is a whole story in itself, by the way. But the lice, they couldn't because the power that they had could not work on something so tiny, which is very interesting. And the fourth one, there was a very much distinction between the Egyptian and the Hebrew people, and all these wild animals were pursuing the people into their home. You read it. This is very interesting. I mean, every word is so important. And so this fourth one is called Arov, and is translated from most of all the commentary from medieval time is wild beast. It's a mixed assortment of wild animals. This is from Rabbi Yehuda, and is the one who was creating the Mishnah for people not to forget all the oral law was given to the Jewish people in the second century. So why is it like that? And why is it so different? And why are we rediscovering it? I think, let us first see why is it like that. One, because you need always to look at God's principle. And one of the very important God's principle is measure for measure. In Hebrew, we call it midah gned midah. And it's like if you do something wrong, one day or another, it will come back to you, which is also another way of translating it. And so why is it these wild animals and not swarm of insects or flies? You have to see that this was a punishment for the Egyptian who would have the Hebrew hunt wild animal before, when they were slaves, with which their sadistic master will then torture them. Okay, so they were maimed, they were killed by these wild animals, and suddenly God brings these wild animals, you know, all over the border of Misraim, of Egypt. So it's very interesting. You can dig again in that even more. It's very, very interesting. Okay, and so why is it that we can read it also? Arov is written twice, one in the Psalm 105, verse 31, and is said also, but they just speak about the Arov. They don't give more description, they don't explain more. But in the Psalm 78, verse 45, is speaking about the Arov who is devouring the Egyptian. And so if it was swarm of insects, they can't devour people, you know. And so this is the little I mean the commentary, I mean the verse who can explain to us also that is more wild animals. And when you look at measure for measure, this seems also very clearly that. So this is very interesting in the Greek. Okay, and we were looking also in the Greek translation what it was said, and is dog flies. So again, it's not said the proper way. It's said kunomouia, and so again, is not translated the right way. Very interesting. And the bottom of all this story is like we are discovering that we have to study the Bible with our Hebrew friends, with our Jewish friends, because it's written in Hebrew. And again, there is something said that there is 70 faces when you read the Bible in Hebrew, because truth is so multi-layered, and the Bible is multi-layered. The Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, is multi-layered. So there is a lot of things. It's like a DNA, and like you unwire it, and you can see more and more explanation and more details. So this is why we have to see that the Hebrew language is an amazing language. It's God who created that language. And like in Zephaniah 3:9, it said that he will bring us back to that language, to this pure language, and we will worship him together. And this is what we're doing when we study the Torah, is worshiping him with his word, and it's just beautiful.